Excellent. All right. So we already have a comment. Somebody probably. All right. Someone's just. All right. Hey, what's up? Okay. That's a newcomer. All right, everyone. Welcome to one of the best shows on Wednesday evening, Masculine Geek. This is Masculine Geek number 45. It's called Thanksgiving Day, you arseholes. Not Turkey Day, not Friendsgiving.
Not happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanksgiving.
It's a holiday. It's a federal holiday. It's called Thanksgiving. Like it, love it, learn it. There we go.
Get out of the country.
Or get the hell out of here. All right, so let's keep that banner on there going. So we have a special guest tonight, and we've been trying to get him on the show for ages. Since we've
Who the fuck is this guy?
almost since we've been live, and we've actually been live almost a year now. So welcome, Luke Risner. Am I saying that correct? Your last name Risner, or is it Reisner?
So it just depends. My side of the family goes by Reisner, but
Okay.
there are other areas. There are other Risners/Reisners that I've met, and I've heard it pronounced any which way. So.
Okay, sounds good. Well, welcome. It's hey, Ralstonian. Everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, RR.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to kick off. We're going to go right into Geek and Tell because we have some cool things. And TJ is in an undisclosed location somewhere obviously not in his normal
occupied territory.
He's in occupied territory, but not. He's in a different layer today. So. So excellent. So Luke, you want to let everyone know who you are and what you're about, and if you want to segue right into your Geek and Tell, please do.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So yeah, my name is Luke Reisner. I've been following this channel now almost since I think the first episode I actually ever officially watched was number 3. I don't think I was there officially for 1 and 2.
That would still put it at January.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Came over here from the George Bruno.
Yep.
Salton channel. Had been following him for maybe 5 or 6 months. When he mentioned he was constantly mentioning Legendary Brew, Legend Tabletop Coffee.
Yep.
It's a legendary brew.
Yep.
And then that's where it all initially came from as far as my following of you guys, which I thoroughly enjoyed from the beginning. It was good to meet other guys who can be both nerd and masculine at the same time.
Yes.
Which is, in my opinion, just part of being a man. As far as what I'm about, it's a really great question, honestly. Well, I guess I'll start with my occupation. I'm a United States Marine. I've been active duty for 7.5 years. I'm in the infantry, currently a squad leader, sergeant. And I love the occupation. I have some differences with the organization, which I think is commonplace anywhere. But I would rather work a difficult or even unpleasant job with good men than work a good, comfy job with men of lesser value as a whole. And that's my personal, I guess, creed almost. I would rather, it's all about who you surround yourself with. It's those influences. And while there are definitely some toxic ones in the Marine Corps, by and far they're significantly better, I think, than the elsewheres of life. So other than that, I am a father of a little girl with a son on the way, actually December 13th, so not much.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay.
Excited. Very nervous. Being a dad to a son, in my mind, is much more different than being a dad to a little girl, especially in today's world where I think masculinity is under attack. And that's it. Running and gunning, deploy in February-ish, maybe March, depending on life things. And then off we go into the wild blue yonder.
Okay, so you have some downtime right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what well-deserved and much appreciated, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. So what is that that pipe you have? What style is that, and what tobacco are you smoking?
So this is a Savinelli.
Nice.
320. It's unfinished, so there's nothing on the outside. So the coloring you see here is actually from the oils in my skin, the tobaccos, and things like that. So initially,
that's cool.
Yeah, it kind of allows you to put your personal touch on it almost. In fact, when I first got it, this was the color of it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You can see the difference.
Oh
there.
shit.
It can be quite stark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
so I really enjoy it. Yeah.
You're slowly sculpting your own personal pipe, basically.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah. And then as far as tobaccos, it's a blend by a company called Boswell's, which I believe is in Pennsylvania, I want to say. And it is a English blend, so it has a few different types of tobaccos in it, and it tastes almost like a burnt s'more.
Oh wow. Okay.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
That's not altogether unpleasant. That sounds pretty good.
No, yeah, it's very pleasant. I enjoy it.
Cool. Very cool. And you mentioned some Geek Intel that you have.
I do. It's one of my favorite things you guys do on the channel here. Is you bring out something and talk about the history. I remember when TJ did one about an oil lamp that I believe was French.
Yeah, French trench lamp.
Yeah, and that's just fantastic, right? That we can find all these old things made with great quality. But the one I brought is actually from my previous deployment. We worked with the Senegalese gendarme, which is basically the state police. We were working counter trafficking of illicit materials, weapons, people, narcotics, things like that. Because currently in Western Africa, what's happening is a lot of the illegal trade, be it ivory from elephants or other poaching from different animals, narcotics, weapons, things like that, head north. They are dominantly, not entirely, but dominantly used by Boko Haram, which is a extremist organization in Northern Africa. And our job was to basically kind of stem the flow a little bit by teaching. So no direct action on our part as far as, we weren't raiding villages or anything like that. But when we left, what would be a general came down and gave us a little plaque.
Oh, cool.
That's
And
neat. Okay.
It's kind of hard to see, I think, here in the lighting. Well, you can kind of see it there. So it's the shape of the nation, and then these are all the different provinces you can see outlined.
Yes.
So, and that was it. So that's what I've got.
Cool. Very cool.
So someday when I'm, limping around my living room, I can look up and go, wow, one time I was young and I did something that I hopefully someday will have a greater impact than myself.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is cool. Now, you're a pipe collector now, aren't you?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
I have got a little over a dozen pipes, which isn't a lot compared to some of the people I've talked to. I have met people who have well over 100 pipes, and they freely admit that they don't smoke any more than about 10 of them.
Oh, wow.
See, that's what I find interesting is I have like 6 or 7 pipes, but I smoke them all. But it's for different occasions. So some of the pipes are for taking on hikes, like my corncob pipe or something like that. And then, my Gandalf pipe is for when I'm in a meditative mood.
Yeah.
And there's other ones like my big briar one that I got from Gettysburg. That's also another one that's where I'm just sitting there kind of thing. The idea of collecting pipes just for the sake of collecting them rather than actually using them, that's almost where you're not so much a pipe smoker, but you just like pipes. It's kind of like collecting items, but you never use them. That kind of a collector. You're a collector. You're a pipe collector rather than a pipe smoker or connoisseur.
Yeah. So they actually, the joke in various pipe smoking circles is they call it PAD, pipe acquisition disorder. Tobacco acquisition disorder.
That's funny.
Because you'll get guys who have, for example, 100 pipes, but only smoke 10 of them. Or you'll get guys that have pounds, I mean literal, actual pounds of tobacco cellared away in mason jars and whatnot. But they'll only ever smoke, a couple of blends for several ounces, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I actually have somewhat of a little cellar here, but I smoke all of it.
Yeah.
Or intend to, at least.
You know what I actually do is I have a lot of my pipe tobacco on my desk. I don't use it to write, but it's a writing desk. And I like it because the tobacco pipe gives off a really pleasant aroma when I walk by. that kind of, it has a almost like it's a distinct smell, so that when you walk into a room, so if I ever, let's say I moved or I did additions to my house or whatever, and I had a den, I would actually want it to be one where I could smoke, because when you walk into that room, you smell that smell, and you're like, okay, this room is for this kind of environment,
Right.
as opposed to a different smell for a different environment, that kind of thing. So people always wonder why I have certain scented candles or whatever in my house. It's like, and they're like, well, it doesn't smell like a garage. Yeah, I understand that. I want my garage to smell like oil, grease, but I want my outbuilding to smell like cedar and all these other types of wood that I have. So it depends on what room you're in. But for a study, you want to have that tobacco smell.
Yeah, it's. I remember reading several books growing up, and they're always talking about their father's study, where the kid would sneak in when his father was away working on something, and it would smell like leather and old books and tobacco and maybe that soap that he uses, right? And it's the very quintessential feeling of his father, right? And later on in some of these books, as his father was no longer on the earth, he was gone from this thing we call life, right? Then he kept those things around because it was a connection that he had to his father, and he would have pleasant memories of
Right. That's really interesting. I've been smoking a pipe for probably 10 years, and I've never gotten a single negative reaction from anyone for smoking. And in fact, I've had people come up to me and say, that really reminds me of my grandpa. That reminds me of my dad. Like they come up, they say, just thought that, or I'm up on top of, I ran into a fellow hiker who was actually smoking the tobacco pipe as well. When we were at the end of the hike, and I was like, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one, but nobody ever complains when they come by with stuff. So I think that for some reason, and there's various possibilities, but I think that tobacco pipe people associate almost nostalgically with someone who's calm, like a positive male role model in their life. The guy who was very kind and warm and generous, and he was sitting back smoking his pipe. They think maybe cigarettes, they think of the dad who was drinking, too much beer and,
cigarette smoking is a very furtive act. Especially with the smoking laws, everyone going on their smoke break, in the corner, all huddled up in the wind. It's like a frantic, a very high stress activity that you don't even want to be around.
Right. Whereas
it's smoking for different reasons.
Right. Exactly. Smoking. Go ahead.
No, you got it, man.
I think with tobacco, with pipe tobacco, people are smoking to almost, you feel a desire to talk about intelligent things, intellectual things, or you want to be calm. You're sitting back and just, contemplating. It's a contemplative type thing. Whereas cigarette smoking is almost a reaction to something stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Right. World War II, they would hand out cigarettes so the guys could handle the stress there. Very rarely, unless you're a Civil War vet about to fix bayonets in Gettysburg, right? I was about to say, there's that one guy, the Irish guy who had the tobacco pipe that he's holding his, he's getting the troops lined up and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, but for the most part, I think it's always been viewed as a intellectual, for a higher, like, sophistication. I remember this one girl I knew in college who hated cigarettes, couldn't stand it, but she actually liked pipe tobacco. She liked the smell or whatever. I think it reminded her, like I said, of her grandpa or something like that. But it's interesting the reaction that people get on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about, and Rob will get this, right? It's about the flavor, right? Cigars are fantastic, and you might get a little bit of a nicotine hit depending on your tolerance, what you're smoking. But it's about the flavors, right? It's the pepper, and it's the earthiness, and the coffee notes, the chocolate, whatever it is that you've got going on. And as far as the attitudes behind it, I think it's almost as stressful for people to be able to go out and smoke a cigarette as it is the reason why they're smoking a cigarette, right? Because even on ship, when we were on a MEU, right, and you're out at sea for a few weeks at a time, they ration out cigarettes in the little store on the ship.
Yeah.
Because what if we run out and people can't handle it?
Mm.
Right? That's incredibly To me, that's just insane. I don't understand that.
What a thing to actually have to monitor and think about.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a ship where potentially, someone could be firing at someone, or you're transporting troops for the purpose of combat, or an evacuation or something like that, right? And some point somewhere, the commanding officer of the ship has to make sure that we don't run out of cigarettes, because what if people can't handle the stress of that? And, it's almost asinine and insane in its theory.
Yeah, when you say it out loud like that, you're like, what?
Yeah, it sounds incredible. And then as far as the pipe, so you've heard George Bruno probably talk about Eddie Gray and the Pipe Nook from time to time.
Yeah.
And I buy from there as well. And he always sends out a little calling card. And on the back, it's the quote for his website, is "The pipe draws wisdom from the lips of the philosopher and shuts up the mouth of the foolish. It generates a style of conversation, contemplative, thoughtful, benevolent, and ineffective."
Wow.
Yeah, William Macpeace Thackeray from The Social Pipe.
That's a good quote.
And if you look at different people like Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, and others, Albert Einstein, who smoked pipes, I mean, there was that contemplative time.
It's almost like it's kind of like with cigars, where cigars have their own culture.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you always see these magazines where you have, Churchill's always going to be associated with cigars, like that sense of, kind of upper crust type thing. And then pipes, tobacco. I mean, Tolkien could basically start a whole entire brand off that guy. That in the movies, as we've learned, Vince. I'm still going.
Oh yeah. Yep. Old Toby. That's right. You're still smoking it, right? Or did you go through it already?
No, I still got it. I have somebody I ran into in my neck of the woods who smokes pipe tobacco as well. He has his own pipes, and I said that I had Lord of the Rings stuff, and so we'll have to do a pipe session while we discuss the deeper things in life.
Very cool.
So I've got a few. If this is a good time, if it pleases the crown, I got a few Geek and Tells.
Nice.
All right, here it goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you finally got it.
I finally got it. This is the Saint Bernard, and it actually has a.
It's got a tap.
It's got a tap, so you can put a liter of
rum.
Well, no, Aaron will drink it all.
Well, as long as he's not around. Are you gonna put it around Aaron's neck? What the?
No, Aaron would actually be able to get out of his house, and he might actually have to stop calling the girlfriend every 5 minutes so he could come over and drink the rum.
I know.
Hey,
right? There's Atham in his pipe.
Albert got what the?
I'll be done.
So this is so I'm gonna have this around Reese's neck when I go hiking next time.
Nice. You have to do like a little video or definitely some photos. That's great.
What is the original alcohol that they'd put in the Saint Bernard keg?
I think it's brandy.
It's a total myth based off of a painting from the 1800s. They never did that. That's what's so funny. That's why I thought it was so
fun sucker. Come on.
I know.
It's like, why did you just ruin that for us all?
Here, let me spit all over this for you guys. It's a fucking myth.
Stop it. Yeah, all right. You fucked up
Brandy.
Bigfoot. You fucked up Bigfoot for everybody. Now you're ruining.
Now you're going after Saint Bernards. Good God.
This is designed for brandy. It's for Brandian.
Mm-hmm.
So the myth, the legend was that Saint Bernard dogs would find a person and give them brandy to help revive them. We
learned that shit in Tom and Jerry.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
This is a pewter pitcher that my family believes was brought from England in the 1630s.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
We haven't proved that yet, but we know there was pewters made just like it in the 1630s.
No maker's mark on it?
Nope, no maker's mark of any kind. But we've seen, what's that sideshow, roadshow antique, whatever they call it.
Antique Roadshow.
So somebody had one that was just like it, and it was from that time period. So
Okay.
I think it's, I have no idea who to take it to, but
you could always call. You could always send a photo and send it to them. They might be able to,
I don't know. I'll have to do a Geek and Tell since it's here. So a couple years ago, I made this for my folks for a Christmas gift.
Nice. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Nice. Very nice. That's going to get Gamma's going to Gamma. That's right.
Oh. Who's the Gamma?
Bull Rushers.
Somewhere there's a St. Bernard freezing to death. Yeah, it's not my dog.
That's funny.
I didn't realize this. Reese is 10 years old. I thought he was younger, but he's.
Is he? Oh, he's an old guy.
We're gonna have to look at just preparing for, the show must go on. So, Taco companion plush card.
Part of the
oh
fun.
My God.
Yeah. Damn, Drew. Drew, you ready for D&D?
That's cold.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah, it's
No holds barred in the chat tonight.
It's happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, motherfuckers.
Happy Thanksgiving, pal.
It's Christmas, Leo. It's the time of miracles.
This time is something.
Yeah.
It's too funny. All right, so Atham, we were just talking pipes with Luke. And Luke, do you know Atham and Atham? Do you know Luke? Introduce yourselves to each other.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I've never seen you before, but hi, nice meeting you, bro.
Nice meeting you.
Fellow pipe smoker.
There you go. All right, so Atham, what are you smoking tonight, and what kind of pipe do you have?
I'm smoking Raccoon's Accent.
Oh, okay. I thought that said Raccoon's ass for a moment, but okay.
This is a Burley, Virginia, and I'm smoking it in a Peterson pipe.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Man, Peterson's good. I have one, but I've only got the one. I want to get another one. Those are nice.
Yeah, do you have a deluxe?
No, I have a Meerschaum Briar pipe.
Oh, Meerschaum, nice. I only own one Meerschaum. This one.
Oh, okay. Let's
Cool.
see here. So,
Yeah.
They call it Meerschaum Briar because it starts out as a very pale color, and then like my other one, it colors over time.
Right. Yeah, like the Meerschaum. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice size too.
Oh yeah, it's a great.
Yeah.
Is that true, Atham? You left Clary's live stream to be here with us?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Well,
He's just bitching.
Oh, he's probably calling the girlfriend at this point.
I saw cigars and pipes. I was like, hey, what's going on here?
That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
We got to start nagging, or not nagging. We need to start telling Aaron to just cancel his show and come over here.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
I don't know what to tell you. The fire roses.
That's right. That's right. Aaron. We're stealing your viewers.
Yeah, we're contributing to GP more than you are.
I know, right? Shit.
Here's my other Peterson.
Nice.
Oh, very
Oh
nice.
Wow, that is very nice.
Yeah,
So
this is from 1971, I think. So it's older than me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
I got a question for you, Luke, or Atham, or both of you. So I've bought a lot of different pipes, and all of them have been relatively inexpensive.
Mhm.
But then I see these pipes that you Atham and I are always exchanging Facebook messaging on tobacco pipes, and there's some that are up there like $120, $150, whatever. And so my question that I have yet to figure out is, why are those pipes so expensive? What is it about them that makes them worth, if somebody wanted to buy them, what are they getting out of them that they wouldn't get out of, say, a $9 pipe?
Well, sometimes it's just you're paying the person who handmade the product, right? You're paying him for his work. There are
Right.
pipes that go for hundreds and thousands of dollars. There are Dunhills that I've seen that go for $5,000, and it's gonna smoke very similarly to the $40 pipe that you might buy at a store or something or online. So a lot of times it's who you're paying for their expertise and being able to handcraft it using only hand tools and all these other kinds of things. Sometimes it's the age, sometimes it's the materials. They make them out of a different part of briarwood, or they use a different stem material. They use bamboo, things like that. Sometimes that plays into it.
Sometimes it is the prestige and the history. Like Dunhill is really famous.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of like a Rolex, right? You essentially get the same function, but it's just nicer.
It's kind of like a person I know who has Pappy Van Winkle, the liquor, and he said it doesn't taste a whole lot different from a $50 scotch, but he just has it at his house so that people, who want to try it can do it. But it's more. It seems like it's more the prestige of being able to afford something like that, right? That you have a pipe that it doesn't smoke differently than another pipe. It's just it was made in a way that I don't know. It's a status thing,
right? Yeah, it's a smaller version of, hey, I want to drive a Mercedes Benz instead of a Honda.
Right.
It all happens, right? They all get from point A to point B, right? One just does it on leather seats, the other one does it on, polyester.
Yeah. Do you want to drive a new Beetle or a Chevy Camaro from 1969?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my answer to that one.
Yeah, you like the new Beetle, right?
Yep.
I drive one too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just, some people like this.
Sometimes it's like a really special and nice wood, Like
you won't see me do anything like that. There's no. I find that unnecessary. Even with whiskeys, I love a good whiskey. It doesn't matter if it's American, bourbon, Scotch, Irish, Japanese. I really enjoy good whiskey. I break 200 on it.
I can say I can tell the difference between a bad liquor, like a bad whiskey, or a cheap vodka or cheap rum, compared to a really good rum. Because I bought a really good bottle of rum that's very smooth from my area, and you have like one small glass, and it's fine. That's good. You don't need more. Whereas the cheap stuff, it's almost like, like they took water, added a little bit of whiskey to it, and then covered it with caramel flavoring or something like that.
You mean Rumpelmints?
I've tried to make my own Rumpelmints, or peppermint schnapps, because Rumpelmints is really expensive. In my state, the liquor taxes are ridiculous, and so what I try and do is create a sugar syrup and add vodka and then peppermint extract and then something else, but I can never get it right. It's either too vodka, there's too much vodka flavor, taste, or there's too much peppermint, or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe I need to do it differently. Try it differently. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I like peppermint schnapps. It's just so freaking expensive.
Asking for a friend.
That's right. I got this friend. He wants to know.
Yeah, it's interesting how people have different choices and styles and preferences, especially when it comes to things like whiskeys. Right? I have a friend, and he loves any Irish whiskey, but he won't drink Scotches, he won't drink bourbons, he won't drink American whiskeys, Japanese whiskeys, only the Irish. And that's, to me, that seems crazy, because Irish, I think, is a good starting point for a lot of people, particularly Jameson, for example, right? But there's so much more, especially when you get into Scotches and bourbons, right? The flavors just explode on you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an art.
Well, it's almost as though you have to be able to detect the subtleties. Because if you can't, then there's no point. For example, I can tell the differences between a lot of different beers now. I can tell the difference between an IPA, Pilsner, different types of IPAs, whether it's more of a smooth citrusy or where it has a lot of hops in it, stouts and all of that stuff. So I know a good beer from a bad beer at this point.
And Vince knows canola oil.
That's right.
Problem is that
I do. Any oil, really. Yeah.
When you develop a refined palate for a specific thing, like say with tobacco or beer or liquor, whatever, you start to favor the finer things, and the finer things tend to be the more expensive things. And so
They can be, yeah.
pipe tobacco is okay because I just don't smoke a whole lot, but the beer, I can't drink for the most part, unless it's really hot out and I'm really thirsty. I can't drink Coors Light, Bud Light. I don't drink like Rainier or any of these other mainstream like Budweiser or whatever. I got to drink the really good stuff, and it ain't cheap. And the same thing for the most part with liquors, but we have like a 40% tax on our liquor.
Yeah.
And so you're buying a really good bottle of whiskey or whatever. It's, you're spending so much money.
Yeah. It's crazy how that works out as far as taxes and whatnot. I tend to be more of a mind of, a good whiskey or a good tobacco, whatever is what you like, right? And a bad one is what you don't like, because it's so individual to the person. Though there's obviously, there's quality, right? You get what you pay for, right? There's
Right.
reason people buy Milwaukee, DeWalt, Stanwell, and they don't buy, Black
PBR.
or Walmart brand tools,
Right. I think tobacco pipe is one of the few where you can actually, you can get a corn cob pipe for really cheap.
And a button nose.
Yes.
It was there. Come on.
I know. I saw it coming. I was like, oh no.
There you go.
It's like saying I'm making a list, and you're like, oh god.
I'm making a list, TJ.
Of course, with you, it's about girls, and they're all on the naughty list.
As they should be. Continue.
Gosh, where was I saying? I was saying, what was I saying? Oh, you corn cob pipe. You can get pretty cheap tobacco. It's not the greatest, but you don't have to spend a ton of money on tobacco pipes to start out. I guess the same with wine and beer and all that stuff. It's just it just gets really expensive. So that's the downside to acquiring refined tastes with wine, with liquor, because I actually got to go to the Jameson distillery in Dublin, and they were teaching us and showing us how to tell a good whiskey from a bad one. And so after that, it was like, when I'm drinking, Jim Beam or whatever, I'm like, stirring it in the glass as they talk. And I'm like, this isn't as good. But I don't want to pay, $40 for a bottle of Jameson whiskey. It's great. It's just, I don't know.
You brought some, was it wine or something back from France?
Yes, I can actually state that I brought back pretty girls from France. I did. There's a bottle of wine that I was at this guy was we were taking a tour of his family's vineyard estate, like winery, whatever. And one of their wines that they sold was this white wine called Pretty Girls. That was really good. So I ended up buying it and bringing it back with me. I also brought back two bottles of champagne. One was like 150th anniversary. The other one was this very, very dry, very, very good, by the way. And no, Atham, I do not drink PBR. That's for Seattle hipsters. I genuinely hate. I don't hate PBR. It's just I hate what it's a beer that you drink when you're you're either a college student or you're just on the lowdown for cash. Like you're like, I don't have a lot of money, but I want a beer. But I can't drink PBRs anymore.
It's like Rob's Bud Light. I think I still have a bag full of that left.
Well, you need to get on it.
That stuff that was based off of Thomas Jefferson's beer recipe, that stuff was really good too.
Oh, the one we had in Philly?
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, it was really interesting. That's an entirely separate other topic, but the extent to which people drank beer and ale in previous historical times. Since we're doing a Thanksgiving episode, I'll just throw this out there. The Pilgrims, that's all they drank was ale, was beer. Everybody, women, children, everybody, because you couldn't drink water.
It was a better time of life.
Well, and that's kind of why
everybody was buzzed on a continual basis.
and that's why
Everybody was happier.
There you go.
And that's why our the revolutionary the Sons of Liberty and all that stuff started out in taverns, was because you couldn't, and why tea was such an important part of colonial life and why the taxes on it drove nuts is because you couldn't drink the water. The only way to hydrate was through ale, low alcohol ale, and tea, because you would boil the water so it would kill anything that was in that. And so the Sons of Liberty was founded in a tavern where they were all drinking together. Sam Adams was with Paul Revere and a bunch of other guys in Boston drinking, and they're all whining about these taxes. And they're like, oh, let's start a revolution. And then they started putting a tax on tea, and the colonists would not drink the tea, which was a big deal. So they said, we're going to force you to buy it. So what they were going to do is bring all this tea. They would keep it in port, and then would be impounded and then sold at an artificially low price on the market, so that people would basically buy it because it was cheaper than what was going regular. It was like kind of a corporate bailout for the East India Trading Company. So it's just interesting that people, especially during the prohibitionist movement, or the way people are now, the way we don't let people drink before they're 20 or until they're 21. And I'm thinking, yeah, your aunts, and then they talk about puritanical or whatever. It's like, yeah, puritanical kids were drinking beer at age 9. Like, don't let's be historically contextually correct.
It's the same with Europe. There was no age limit on drinking. It was unheard. It's ridiculous. That's a weird. And people would say it's puritanical. It's not even puritanical because, like I said, they drink beer too. It's more of just a kind of modern moral reform, whatever you want to call it, society type thing that came out in the late 19th century, early 20th century. But that has no historical context whatsoever. I mean, like in Europe, kids are drinking wine, they're drinking beer, they're getting used to it. Yeah. And American kids are not. It's not a huge deal.
It's not a huge deal. The reason it's a huge deal actually here is because they have that highway transportation funding requirement that if you are a state that wants to get federal funding for your highways, you need to have the drinking age at 21.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it also varied from state to state too, which is why kids in Philadelphia would come across the river to Camden to drink, because Camden years ago was only, I think the drinking age was 18, and in Philadelphia was 21. So,
what's interesting is you talk about meeting in bars and taverns and such. The Marine Corps was founded in a tavern.
Oh, shock!
Right, which just cracks. It's one of my favorite pieces of history, quite frankly. It was founded in Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, and it's interesting how people view alcohol now. Just in
No, I totally agree with you, Luke. I think that
nicely done, Atham.
Yeah, is that one of your plates, Atham, or what?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
Our society today has a very weird take on the use of on alcohol, the way we use it compared to how people traditionally used it. So, I mean, it's not going to change, but people will wonder, well, how did they come up with all these great ideas while they're out drinking? Well, that's because it's different context, like there was that, I can't remember, it was like a poster or meme or whatever that was going on social media where it listed off all the alcohol that the founding fathers drank after the 1789 Constitution was written. I mean, it's just unbelievable amount of liquor. And then at the very bottom it says, and there were only like 55 guys there.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I've seen that. They did that. I've seen that meme repeated in several different ones. George Washington, when he finally left,
Yeah.
They drank gallons of this stuff. By the way, there's only 54 guys.
Yeah. Well, no, it's also true that I learned this in history class when he was running for the Virginia State Legislature. One of his campaign rallies was basically just buying everyone free ale. They all just drank. I mean, that was their
the good old days.
He spent think about that. He spent his campaign money buying people alcohol. I mean, that was kind of what you did. And then it's kind of funny. Like, this is a Disney show. The Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, he's giving a campaign speech, and then he just stops in the middle of it and goes, "Why don't we just wet our whistle over at the local tavern?" And then just everybody leads off with him, and his political rival is left there alone. it's a kids show, but that's precisely what happened back in history. People would just say, "Hey, does everyone want to just go grab a beer and we'll hang out and talk politics in the tavern or something like that?"
It's the same thing with tobaccos. In 1776, George Washington was addressing the Continental Congress, and he told them, if you can't send money, send tobacco. If you're not going to fund us, at least let us relax a little bit. So
No, it's kind of amazing the extent to which culturally things that were either allowed or considered appropriate that we don't consider appropriate today. For example, smoking used to be completely acceptable in all situations for the most part, as long as you had smoking etiquette. Now it's almost like considered a sin to smoke of any kind.
Professors would smoke pipes in the classrooms.
Yeah.
We need to bring that back. Bring back smoking in the classroom.
Make smoking great again.
That's right. Make smoking great again. Jesus.
Right.
Unbelievable.
I think that I don't know. There's a lot of different sociological things that we can speculate on. I think colonial America, in a lot of ways, shocking as people may find this, I don't think they were nearly as repressed in a lot of ways, and so they didn't drink alcohol as a way of coping with that. I think it was more of just one, they were trying to hydrate, and they were also just people were drinking to just have to celebrate something, right? It wasn't just because they're miserable or something like that.
It's because they lived another day, considering how fucking harsh.
No, that is a good point. I mean, they went to Valley Forge and 3,000 guys died of disease. They froze to death, all this other stuff. So, when they could have gone home. So yeah, I can see how people would be a little bit more thankful. Whereas people now, yeah.
See?
Yeah, see?
There's another good Bugs Bunny reference. Nah, see, yeah.
Aw. Absolutely. Racketeer Rabbit, like 1947, I think. Yeah, it's an old one. It's a good one.
They just had Mel Blanc's. He would have been 101 this year.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
They were still
Okay.
Tip our hat to that guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's another thing that's
Pour out a little Colt 45 for that guy.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah.
The hell?
Congratulations, you made it another week. Those guys were doing congratulations, you made it another day.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that interesting that I think the whole war on I'm not a smoker or cigarette smoker. I've never been a huge fan of them.
No.
Whatever in the culture, but if you watch any 1930s, 1940s, 1950s movies, you realize just from the movies that smoking was a very much a integrated part of American life. A lot of people smoked. Even if you didn't smoke, you lived in a house with someone who did smoke.
Yeah, I grew up with it.
Here.
Yeah.
Speaking of smoking, TJ, jeez.
I know. And there was all this etiquette about, smoking, but it was more of, do you smoke? No. And that meant I'm not taking. You realize just from the movies that smoking was a very much a integrated.
Fill up your speakers, Drew.
A lot of people smoke.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're getting some feedback. And welcome, Drew.
Oh. Yeah, I grew up with it. So mute that. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. What's
Hey, Steven's in the chat. Steven, what's up? Good to see you.
What's interesting? Another thing that's interesting about just tobaccos in general. So, the way that cigarettes started is guys were smoking their pipes, right? World War I and what have you, and then their pipe would break, right? All this is a mortise and tenon joint in here, right? And they would snap it because they had it put together in their pocket or whatever. And they ran out of pipes. You couldn't just get one on the front lines of World War I or what have you. Yep,
there you go. Yeah.
Right on. So one day a guy's like, wow, I really want to smoke this tobacco. My pipe snapped. And all he did was take a little bit of paper and was like, well, this will work. I still get the taste out of it. And that just became an expeditious way to smoke a pipe.
Clever.
And all that happened was people saw that, right? Ingenuity took over. And it's like, well, this is really simple. I can mass produce this, keep it in a little container, and people are going to buy the crap out of it, and they did. That's how it happened. And then over time, they started putting all the additives and all these other things in
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So then,
Yeah.
for right now, for example, there is a bill in the House of Representatives. It's HR 2335 about limiting, and they say it's targeted towards vaping, but what they did is the verbiage targets all tobacco products. Period. Cigars, pipes.
Really?
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Hmm.
and because most people don't differentiate between cigarettes, for example, and cigars. They just see a cigar as a really big cigarette, and that is nowhere near accurate.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right? There are huge differences. In fact, the CDC did a study, and people who smoke cigars and smoke pipes live longer, than people that smoke cigarettes, and even live longer in many cases than people that smoke nothing, because the overall relaxing of breaking the stress off of your body and off of your mind and off of your soul as a whole, as you sat and relaxed and contemplated over life issues with a cigar, with a pipe, caused less stress in general, and people were living longer. And the CDC even verified that, but you'll never hear anybody talk about it.
Right. And that's absolutely true, is that there's this whole war on this isn't healthy, this isn't healthy, this isn't healthy, we shouldn't have that. And yet they don't talk about stuff that in it of itself is not a problem, but stress is worse than, if you're stressed, it's worse than being a drinker. It's worse than being a smoker. It's worse than pretty much everything else, because stress does stuff to your body. And the worst part of it is people don't see it. They don't see the cigarette. They don't see the bottle of booze. And so,
Stress can compromise your immune system and make you more susceptible to all sorts of other things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I think the tobacco pipe will always be, or pipes will always be, it's not going to be attacked, because I think people just associate it too much. They understand that people don't smoke because they're stressed and they're not angry. They're doing it because they are calm and collected, whereas they associate cigarette smoke and cigarettes with a stressed out parent that they knew as a kid, or relative, or somebody who just was really freaking out, and they'd be sitting there with their ashtray pile, and I think that's why people have come out against cigarettes. It really has nothing to do with the health stuff. It's more of what do they associate it with.
Yeah, of course. Everything
Good point.
Everything is association.
Life people vote on stuff. It really has less to do with logic and reason and more to do with emotion, rhetoric. So if you associate something with something bad, people will vote to ban it. If you associate it with something good, people will vote to keep it around.
And
or legalize.
History is full of things like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely full of things like that. And when you throw in some cases, poor education, be that on the part of the teacher or on the part of the student, right? They don't know certain things about economics, or they don't know certain things about history. They don't know certain things about some simple things like tobaccos. And so they only have what they associate that with. And when you lack context and perspective, then it all just goes downhill.
You're in Facebook, Jonathan?
We need to rename this episode, Vince. This needs to be the Vice episode, since
Apparently.
we're talking about like booze and tobacco.
And booze, tobacco, hookers, and airport fucking, apparently. Flying fuck. I like Drew's idea.
Yes.
This is the ATF episode. We got the alcohol, tobacco.
Yeah. Oh shit, man! The firearms.
There you go. The ATF episode.
Oh, fantastic. That's too funny. So, Atham, you're in Facebook jail, huh?
10 more days to go.
What did
you do this time?
What did you do, Ray?
I posted a meme that said Jesus fucking Christ, and it's just what you think it is. It was Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh shit!
Using the handholds?
Yeah. No, he was holding the wall, I think. The one in the back, anyway.
Oh my god!
I won't be too
That's
graphic.
wrong on so many levels.
Yeah,
That's awesome though.
That doesn't warrant a timeout, though.
I know. I mean, the moment I hit enter, I got banned.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're in the algorithm.
Yep.
Yeah. They know who you are.
Well, and the crazy part is you're Mexican,
that's-
so it's
so that's
like,
another
how the
really
hell is
interesting
that
thing
happening? You're a
in
protected
society,
class.
right?
Oh,
Maybe to think
Is
through.
free speech.
What'd you
The time
say?
I got
What'd you say,
banned
Luke?
before- Oh, go ahead, Luke. Yeah.
No, did I interrupt? I didn't mean to.
No, that's all right. Everyone's talking over each other. Stop that. Go ahead, Luke.
Yes, Dad.
It's another
God damn.
interesting thing talking about context and perspective and whatnot is, so speech, right? Like that's a huge thing in culture right now. Is what is, free speech? You're seeing it all over the place, right? And can YouTube do this? Can Facebook do that? Can Instagram and Google do this over here? And at what point do you draw the line between civility, for example, which I think really is what everybody's kind of after in their own way, and the freedoms and responsibilities that come with it.
The funny thing is that the first time I got banned for like 3 days, it was because I replied to a meme that Aaron Clary posted. He was making fun of Mexicans, and all I said was freaking Mexicans. Well, fucking Mexicans.
Yeah.
I got banned because of that.
You're Mexican.
I'm Mexican. Yeah, I was just trying to be funny, and here you go. You banned me for 3 days.
Oh my god.
Like you said, no context. It's just a freaking algorithm.
Exactly.
Now
Yeah.
you cannot be funny. Yeah.
Nobody should be banned at all.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah.
Anything. If people don't like what you say, they can block you or mute you.
Yeah.
Twitter does not need to. People are just pussies. They can't
No, absolutely.
see something that offends them without getting all upset.
And the unfortunate thing is, it's even in the Marine Corps to some extent starting to leak its way in very slightly, because so hazing, right? And there's can I make a guy clean everything using his toothbrush and bleach? No, right? It's not. There's nothing beneficial that comes from that, right? There's no lesson learned. It's just a shitty thing that they used to make people do, right? But there's a difference between that and if someone isn't pulling their weight and I look at them and I go, hey girl, stop being a bitch, pick it up and let's go. We're depending on you to get this job done, right? And if I say that to the wrong person, he can go up the chain of command, right? And I can lose rank over that now.
That's nuts.
And I've seen it happen. And people are like, well, the Marine Corps, this amazing organization. And I still agree to that, right? Because doesn't happen very often. But it is a possibility that can happen. But people don't think about that when you're having debates over what is free speech versus hate speech and whatnot, right? And I agree with what you said is if you don't like it, turn it off, block them, don't look at it, right? But there are people that will show up to a YouTube channel, a Twitter feed or whatever, knowing that they disagree with somebody, right? It's how do you find happiness in life doing that? And you literally put yourself in a position now where you're just going to mentally cause yourself stress and problems over something. And like one, it's words, right? It's just words.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
it's
incredible.
Just weak, miserable people.
There's a lot of those running around and people looking for shit to be bothered about.
WMP.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
WMP. Weak, miserable people. No shit.
Insane. Insane.
So Drew, what's up with you? How's everything going?
Pretty good, actually. I am starting to revamp the gym/office here. Getting ready for some video and pictures and stuff. We got, I don't know if you can see this crap. We got a new West Side bench and a bunch of stuff for the rack. So that's pretty much it. Just writing and getting ready for books for the stuff that or getting ready for pictures for the books that I'm writing and working on some nasty surprises for the D&D session.
That was my next question too. Oh boy.
You're
Okay.
gonna torture us. Nice.
Shit.
I can't. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but we're not going to have people have safe words or any of that crap. I just need to make sure that we know ahead of time what we can do on YouTube without getting everybody canceled.
That's funny.
Yeah,
No,
it's
awesome. No, definitely looking forward to that.
Yes.
So we'll have our, like I said, we'll have our session 0 this Sunday. Get everybody up to speed, and anyone has any questions with character creation, we'll go over that, and then you can, you need to
I
tell
know
us what you need to tell.
we talked about doing stuff in the Undermountain,
Correct.
and I keep thinking, well, again, I don't want to spoil anything. Oh crap! I can't say anything because I'll spoil stuff. Sorry.
No, that's all right. You tease.
I'm excited about it.
Tease you. God
If I say anything, really.
No, understandable. No, we look for. It's only what 2-3 weeks. It's like 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yep.
The
So everyone,
rises.
that's right. So December 11th, everyone, at 9:00 till whenever, we're going to be running a live D&D game, and Drew is kind enough to run the game for us. And if it's something that goes over well, which I have a suspicion that it will, we'll make it a little more permanent.
If there's not a TPK in the first 5 minutes.
wait, this isn't Call of Cthulhu now. Come on.
Oh no.
We're
But
gonna lose our sanity points and die immediately.
you never know.
Hmm.
No, I'm not going to kill everybody right off the bat.
Whoa!
Yeah.
There's a spoiler right there. Not right off the bat.
The keyword
Well,
is
whether you die or not is entirely up to the decisions everybody makes. Well, that and the dice.
That is true. And hey, if you kill off Aaron Clary, we're fine with that. That's good.
Yeah, that's fine. You can kill him.
Is anybody going to play a cleric?
I believe that is going to
Isn't
be.
it Rollo said that?
Rollo said he's going to be a cleric.
Okay.
So
Son of a cluck.
That's right.
Is he going to revive Aaron though?
wait, hang on a second. Here's the dumbest question I've ever heard, and I say that with mischievous fun, Marty. Come on, what is D&D? Come on. I know,
how
right?
do I get the girls?
Come on, Marty. That can't be a real question.
It's not a real question.
It's a real question, just not a serious
It's all bribe.
question.
That's
Yeah.
a bribe. You're paying us
You know-
for your jobs.
where I'm at. I get. I've wanted to look into D&D, but there's no one here to play with.
No.
So
Oh,
I
shit.
found a game store about I don't know, maybe an hour away, and they do everything from Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic.
Yeah. I was going to suggest that hit up one of your local game stores if you have one local.
Yeah. But they don't. They said that it's hard for them to get something regular because they always have people and they show up, but then they're deploying or they're training over.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
getting groups of guys to get together for, let's say, 8 weeks straight or eight Fridays straight or whatever is very difficult.
Hmm.
So
scheduling.
it's something that does fascinate me.
All right. Well, at least you've heard of it, Marty. My faith.
Wow, really?
It's
This
almost
guy's hanging out with the geeks, and he doesn't even know what the hell it is.
when Drew and I were growing up, playing Dungeons and Dragons would not get your ass kicked, but you weren't part of the cool group.
Right.
Now, if you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, you're not cool.
Jeez, Smalls. I suppose you didn't even know who the babe is.
It is true. It's a complete flip
That's right.
for good or for ill. We can
Well,
go.
whenever
We
something
can.
goes popular, it's the quality is about to go.
Yeah, we can go deep into
TSR,
that.
WOTC.
Oh, TSR was the shit. Watsy can suck a bag of dicks.
Yeah, yes. In fact, well, I don't know if they're probably not watching or anything, but apparently, from what little I know of them and their stuff with Magic the Gathering, they are full of woke SJW types.
Oh.
And I'm starting to see little bits of it coming through in some of the newer modules. The crap about the gender fluid elves.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what they need? They need a magical character who just purges them all with cleansing fire. Just wipes
You
them
know
out.
what's interesting? So D&D, I haven't had the pleasure of getting into. However, Hearthstone and World of Warcraft,
Oh yeah.
I've been able to get into a little bit, and even then, I found that there are a whole bunch of people, and like I don't play video games for that reason. I don't think anybody plays video games or plays a board game or anything for those reasons, right? But they're just interjected into everything in society, and I think that's why people have such hard contempt for it. Nobody plays D&D to worry about gender fluid elves, right?
It's
Everyone
a
wants to know how they're gonna-
very vocal minority of people who can't keep their fucking mouths shut or can't keep politics out of everything. There's nothing special about them. There's nothing about them that is positive. The only thing that they can do is bitch and moan and piss on what other people do. That's it. And so they move from hobby to hobby like locusts, infesting it and trying to ruin it for everybody else.
Just sucking it dry and moving on to the next one.
Yeah,
Yep.
And they're not going to do it with this.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all. But getting back to our Dungeons and Dragons game, which everyone needs to know about and everyone needs to watch. So we're going to be playing in Undermountain in the Forgotten Realms. We're going to be starting off at 5th level. And we're going to have a party of 5 characters. So there you go.
Are we going to have live comments during the live stream?
We can. What do you think? That's up to you. I mean, you're the DM.
It would be interesting to have people like chiming in with what they think is going to happen next.
I think it would be cool.
Okay. We'll do that. We'll leave the comments open for this one too.
Or sometimes maybe I'll leave some of the decisions up to vote.
Oh, you!
I love it. Fucking Bull Rush is gonna go on a rampage.
Maybe for I'm not saying that anybody's going to die, but maybe the death saving throws instead of rolling for them, we can leave them to a no. That would
no. He dies.
let's
be somewhat serious. We could leave that for a Monty Python game.
Yeah,
that's got to be for the dice, not the people. But maybe some of the events we could leave it up to the audience to vote for which way things go.
Oh yeah, something that's not too earth shaking, detrimental. Yeah,
nothing that would result in the TPK or dismemberment or mutilation of any party members.
Okay.
Just more like mild
inconvenience. I like to ask questions too. If there's someone like me who is not been involved in D&D before, the ability to ask questions might be beneficial.
Oh yeah.
As long as it doesn't slow down the flow of the game, which is the main thing.
Right.
If you take people too far out of it, if you lose that immersion, that's problematic.
Not for anything. Once you're watching and you watch for a while, you'll get a sense of what D&D is all about. Yeah.
And we reserve the right to ignore the chat.
We reserve the right to dump your ass out too if you're acting like a retard.
Yeah, if you're acting like a total fucking spurg, it's like, nope, you're gone.
Oh yeah.
Or if people act like dicks in the chat, we could turn them into NPCs.
Yeah, there you go.
And murder them right there in the game.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll do the voices and stuff, so I'll make them sound like a dork or whatever.
Nice.
Skewering
I like it.
Chat in D&D game. I love it.
It's going to be quite a fantastic evening. So make sure everyone gets their beauty rest because it's going to be a long night.
Well, I'll be awake because I'll be on leave doing nothing because
there you go.
A day and a half after that, my kids were going to go to the hospital to get my kid here. So.
Oh wow, that's right.
Yeah. December 13th, which is a Friday.
Okay.
So I'm sure it'll be fine. Sure, it'll be just fine.
You'll be all right.
Inducing labor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah. Super excited though. It's a boy. So
nice.
I'm very excited to.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Very excited to enter the realm of. I'm a father of a little girl, but there's something something about just having a little boy.
I can only imagine that, but it must be awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's a great opportunity, I think, and hopefully, hopefully I do it right. We'll see.
2 clerics, 1 chalice.
There can be only one.
It can be the name of the episode. There you go.
There can only be one.
All right, Rob, you are you are almost 5 minutes late.
5 minutes late to what?
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh shit!
Jesus,
guys! Oh god damn it, Vince! We got talking about other shit. Leave me alone.
Look you.
Look you. See here. See.
That gives me an idea.
You,
What's
you
that,
got to
Drew?
get off my back,
Two
see?
clerics, one chalice.
There you go. You have to add that in there.
Not what they might be thinking, but it does.
Yeah.
It gives me
Get your mind out of the gutter, you bastards.
Oh, shit. All right. So, hey, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Hey, I got to see something real quick. Got to see if you fuckers are paying attention. Oh, you are. Look at you guys, you beautiful bastards. Hit the like button if you haven't, which right now I'm actually showing more likes than dudes in the chat. So we're actually doing very good there.
So they hit the like button, they took off. Okay.
Yeah, they did. Well, there might be a story behind that in the private chat there, Vince.
Yeah,
So,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, hit the like if you haven't. Hit the notification bell, especially where we're gearing up for this D&D event that we got going on, because that asshole crack and drink and Aaron's going to be on the show apparently.
Mhm.
Rolo Tomasi is going to be on the show. He's going to be a part of this event. And of course, all of us, all of the favorite mugs that you like. Drew's going to kill us slowly.
Well,
apparently.
I will actually
Killing us softly with your dice.
with his song.
names from the people in the chat. So you may actually get to kill a bunch of them during the game.
So you got to hit the notification bell just for that reason alone right there, guys. You get to be like, you know what? Fuck that guy, Rob. He's an asshole. We need to kill him.
You will all get killed by
the mercy of the fucking chat. Fantastic. I have set up that StreamYard link already, so that's ready to go. If you head over to our channel on YouTube, obviously you're there, but just go check out the video section. You'll see that it's already been set up and ready to go. So
Awesome.
we'll tweet that out again.
Sweet.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, I have to depart, but it was great chatting. Yeah, I know. All that. So I will be joining you all, or you guys, for the Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes, I'll send the link for that a little before 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay, great. Guys,
all right.
Good chatting.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving, sir.
Yes.
Right,
Take it easy, TA.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I guess we're done being brief.
Right on.
It was very, very brief. Yes.
Mm.
Fantastic.
Hey, if I could do something.
Of course.
So I'm gonna be
Brief.
a new father soon, right? Well, a second time anyway. If you could give one piece of advice, right, to fathering a son, right, and masculine and maybe a little bit of geek, right, in today's world, what would it be?
Don't name him Maurice.
Don't name him Maurice. I don't think that's a problem with Luke.
That's not on the list.
So, yeah, give him a masculine name for starters. Actually, my son's name is Luke.
Oh, well, it's a good one.
There you go.
We went with the name Jack. That's what we're looking at.
It's a good, solid name.
That's a masculine name.
It was the name of my grandfather who taught me quite a bit about what it meant to be a man. So that's where it came from.
All right, Luke, I am not a father, so in that sense, I can't help you there. But being a son to a father, I can think of at least one thing I wished my dad had fucking told me back in the day. So I'm going to tell you what I wished he had told me. And that you can take it and do whatever you want with it. And that is, don't just give the birds and the bees talk where you talk about, well, one day, son, you're going to meet a girl and you're going to get excited and you're going to want to play hide the dink. Okay. That was my dad's exact words.
He said that?
Hide the dink. That was his exact fucking words.
He
kept it very, very clinical. He kept it very he did not want to address it. He did not want to talk about it, but he basically said, you're going to want to play hide the dink. So make sure you wear a condom. Okay. But otherwise, he gave me nothing. And I don't blame him. I'm not mad, but you understand you're a little more red pilled, whatever you want to call it. Teach that shit to your son and start young. We're talking seriously, maybe 10. That's what I would give you on that.
Don't want to end up a grandfather early.
Well, and it's not even just about being a grandfather early. It's teach him about how women are.
Oh yeah.
Don't hide what women. Don't play the princess game. Fucking tell them what women are really about. Not trying to be shitting on women. It's not about that. But just tell them, let me sit you down. Literally give him a copy of Rational Male. Something like that. Start them young. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Rob, as it were.
Don't circumcise him either. Don't circumcise him.
I have no children, but Rob's advice is solid, and I'd go with that. Yeah. Make sure, and I don't think what we said thus far is there are things that are far from your own thoughts. Definitely read to him, and make sure you give him Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Yep.
Yeah, and apparently
be involved as much with him as you can.
Yep.
Be involved with him as much and as often as you can.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sword.
Yep. Rather than giving him presents, be a presence.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be.
And let him know that it's okay to be a man. It's okay to be a boy. It's okay to be male.
Give him your time and your attention, because that's what it amounts to most. Not the the latest iPhone or whatever video fucking console is out or all this other bullshit.
Yep.
I mean, those things are nice and they make the time go by and make things interesting. But if you are going to do that with him.
Yeah.
If you're going to give him the game console, sit down and play a game with him. That's one thing was for my father was very hard for him to do. Mm-hmm. Was to sit down and actually play with us.
Yes.
So that's one prop I'll give my brother. He's very active and in his son's lives. So yeah, just be a presence. Yep.
Drew, you're a dad. What have you got to say?
You're covering a lot of the good stuff. I think one of the things that I see other people doing that I think is a mistake is you have to remember that you're his father, not his buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
You have to, there have to be lines. There has to be discipline. There has to be some order. It has to come from you. You have to be able to say no to things, even when sometimes you want to say, you know what, let's stay up all night and play Skyrim or whatever, the Super Smash, whatever he's doing right now. But no, there's what you want to do. But still, you got to do. Yeah,
you still have to set boundaries. Yeah,
which kind of sucks because sometimes I'd rather stay up. I get to sleep by a certain hour.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you have to do the responsibility and the boundary and all that kind of thing. Absolutely.
One other thing, and this was a personal opinion. One of the things I absolutely hated growing up, and this is my mother, not my father, that did this. Is I told you so. Or because I said so. That's what pisses me off. Because I said, why? And I told my son very early on, I said, I will never tell you to do anything or not to do anything without a reason. If you want to know why, ask me and I will tell you. Unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, you're going to do what I tell you to do, and you're going to do it immediately without asking any questions until I say it's okay to do so. But are we okay with I don't know what the
fuck yeah.
Absolutely fucking hate, and it doesn't matter who it comes from. You don't tell somebody to do something or not to do something unless you have a damn good reason for it. If you don't, if you cannot elaborate the reason, then you haven't thought it through well enough and you're not justified in giving the order. So, yeah, I told him this from when he was very young. If I tell you to do something or if I tell you not to do something, I have reasons and you are welcome to ask what they are. Except in emergency, and you can still ask, but not until later.
Right. It's very interesting that you guys bring these up. So, for example, Rob mentioned, the reading and being involved with your child. Haley and I determined very early on with our daughter that we were going to read to her and do stuff. Whether that meant
absolutely.
And we do. And what's really interesting is she's 2. right? And at the daycare that we put her in when I go to work and when Haley was working, she's not currently, but when she was 2 years old and she could talk better than most of the 3-year-olds and even some of the 4-year-olds. Which directly I think relates to the fact that we read and we talk to her, right?
Yeah.
We don't do the whole baby voice,
No, you treat her like a little human, a little adult.
Right?
Yeah, you
Yep.
treat her like a
Have
little adult.
conversation with our daughter. When I tell her to pick up her toys, right? Pick up your toys because we're going to go take a bath. And she'll look at me and she'll ask, "Oh, we're going to go take a bath right now?" "Yes, we're going to go take a bath right now. Pick up the crayons."
Yep.
And she understands it, and most of the time, with very little argument, she will go pick up the crayons. Or you mentioned give a reason why, and that example somewhat speaks to. But growing up, I never had that whole give a reason why. I was told to do things, and it was because, well, I'm your mom or I'm your dad.
Yeah, because I
whomever
said
asked
so.
me.
Yeah, and I fucking hated that shit.
Yeah, and so I would obey, right? Like sometimes, most of the time, I guess. I would listen, but I always there was resentment that festered.
Yep.
Right, because I didn't understand things. It's been a very eye-opening experience as a father as I watch my 2-year-old process the same emotions that I felt when I was a child. Very interesting.
I think it helps them too when you let them know, I have a reason and I will explain it if you ask, because, well, a couple of one, if they understand that you are willing to explain all of the stuff to them, they know that's not arbitrary. And by explaining it to them, telling, well, this is why we don't do this, you can actually help them by going through the steps to understand that there are actions and consequences. And we do this because these actions result in beneficial consequences. We don't do this because if you do this, then these bad things happen instead. So I think it helps for them to also understand the consequences of their actions and the importance of thinking through what might happen if I do this or don't do that before they do. But I don't want to go off on the same points again, but it gotta give them reasons for any type of command.
And I also want to add to that. Again, I'm not a dad, but it's just something I've seen with other people. You have to let them fail.
Oh yeah.
One, they learn consequences at that point. They learn that, the world bites. It'll bite your fucking hand. And that there are consequences that, I'll help you out if I can, but you're going to pay for what you do.
He's got to be able to touch the hot stove.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Don't try to protect him.
Yeah, that may be painful to watch. You may have to really steel yourself for that one.
Your guts out, but you gotta let him. You gotta let him burn.
As long as it doesn't result in a trip to the ER.
Right.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
There's caveats. Don't eat paint.
Yep.
But at the same time, you gotta let them burn. You gotta let them fuck up a little bit. You hate to see it happen, but you gotta watch it, and you gotta let them. Okay, guess he's gonna touch the hot stove. All right, here we go, and have the bandages ready.
Atham, you're looking very Norman Rockwell wise over there with your pipe. What have you had to add to this?
Yeah, spread the knowledge.
Something my dad always told me, especially when I was getting bullied in school. Well, I don't know if that applies today, but it worked. He said to me, "Beat the shit out of him, son." And I would. Well, sometimes I will get my ass beaten, but after that, it will stop bullying me.
Yeah, don't start the fight, but defend yourself. Yeah.
Don't start it, but finish it.
I don't know how applicable that is today, but it works.
It's still applicable. But
just the principle of standing your ground, whether it's morally or ethically or even physically. If
you know what he did once. One time he even said to me, some guy was bullying me, of course, bigger and older than me. And I went home crying. And it's like, okay, who was it? Oh, this guy. Okay, let's go. Where's he at? This place. Okay, let's go. I'll block the exit. You beat the shit out of him. Okay. So we went back to that place. He blocked the exit, and I said to the guy, "Okay, you and me, let's go." let's fight. And then he saw the exit because I thought he's like, oh shit, what's going, once they see that you have the cojones, right? They back up. I was like, oh shit, man. He looks at the exit, and then he looks at the exit, and my dad is standing there blocking the exit, and he's like, fuck, he just he just looked down. He just looked down, didn't do shit. I was like, just you and me, 1-on-1, let's go, brother. He didn't do anything. Okay, he never bothered me again. So he
Most bullies aren't looking for a fight; they're looking for an easy target.
Right. They're looking for prey.
To make it painful for them.
Yep.
Then they'll look for somebody. Well, they'll look for somebody else.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, and also don't. Well, I mean, I'm not a father, so I don't know. But
don't say that. You're upsetting Bullrush. Apparently.
Yeah, you're pissing him off. So let it go.
Well, okay, whatever. I'm a daddy. Don't stop being your own man. Always have your own mission in life. Because that's where my dad fucked up. He's an awesome person. He was a badass. Still is. I wouldn't like to be in a fight with him, even at 61. It probably bit my ass. But don't stop, being your own man, and always have your mission.
Your guys' last email, your Masculine Geek newsletter, along with Rob's video earlier about higher value, right? Both kind of play into that a little bit as far as, you have your world, right? And your kids should look up and see your version of your world, your kingdom that you've built, and want a piece of that in the same way. It's interesting. Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. It's good to hear things from guys who just have different perspectives, right? I'm 27 years old, and I have some good experiences, but I don't have all of them. So.
Well, neither do we.
Yeah. Well,
you're figuring the whole thing out as we go.
Yeah, the older I get, the more stupid I feel.
Right. The more I learn, the more I know nothing. Yeah, Luke, while you're at it too, whether you do it now or you do it later, check the chat. Some of these guys have been dropping some gems as well.
Yeah, go back and take a look.
Yeah, go back and look at what some of these guys in the chat are saying. Some of them are fathers, some of them are not, but they've got some solid stuff in there too.
Definitely.
Except for Marty.
You're funny. Love the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So what's everyone doing for Thanksgiving?
Hanging out with my dad.
Cool. What was that, Luke?
Not much. Just prepping for the kid. That's
okay. Cool.
Writing, eating, pretty much it.
Same.
Trying to work the 2 clerics, 1 chalice into the.
That's still sticking with you now, isn't it? You're going to be thinking about that.
I think I know how I'm going to work that in.
You fuckers in the chat. I think, wasn't it Bullrush that said that? 2 clerics, 1 chalice?
He did, yeah. You have to get credit where credit's due.
You fucker. I already know something bad's going to happen there.
You're the Godfather.
No spoilers.
Because that's always a good idea. Oh, man.
Well,
I'm not a dad, but we should just everything we say from now on. We'll just preface.
I'm not a dad.
I'm not a dad, but
this is what I'd tell that little.
This is really tasty. Oh,
what's sticking in my head? How many of you have read any of like R.A. Salvatore or any of the D&D stuff from
most?
So you're familiar with the Drow society and how it's patriarchal?
Very mature. Oh yeah.
I keep thinking how I suspect that Salvatore did this to kind of make a statement about the problems with patriarchal societies, but unintentionally showed how completely fucked up a feminist matriarchal society would be, because the Drow are, about as evil as it gets in the Forbidden Realms. So the most evil society in all the Forbidden Realms is the feminist one.
Yeah, That's really interesting because I remember like even because Drizzt kind of tries to shy away from that almost.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
he completely left Menzoberranzan and came to the surface. Yeah.
Absolutely rejected all of their society, everything.
Compared to what's his name, Jarlaxle? Was that his name?
Jarlaxle, yeah.
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 We're about to lose like 90 people.
Well, it's interesting too because if you go back to the TSR history with the Dro, they weren't complete. The society was not completely fleshed out until R.A. Salvatore got a hold of it. He pretty much set the tone and everything for the Dro society. So
You lost me. You're going to have to teach me something here. I missed that piece.
Oh yeah. When he was, I do. Let me think. He was in an interview with somebody talking about this, and he even came up with the name like very very quickly. He was on a quick phone conversation. He had to run out the door. Yes, yeah. Pick up. Yeah, if you haven't read any of his work, go ahead.
I'm on the 4th of this one now. It's been years and years, but I saw these over at Barnes and Noble, and it just kind of been.
Yeah, those are definitely worth it. And then when you're done reading it, you can either give it away or use it as a doorstop. It is a hefty. They're hefty books.
It's a brick.
But he is his writing flows so well. Whatever you think of his political bent, his writing is very very good. And his
pacing is. He manages to go back and forth between different characters and where they are and what they're doing without completely losing you, keeping things interesting. Especially, well, there's a lot of back and forth. You've got Drizzt, and then it's back, and what is it, Artemis and Treri, and then, and I can't remember the fucking barbarian's name now, but he does an excellent job with tying all these different threads together in some of these as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Just the world building is phenomenal, though. How fleshing everything out.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's unbelievable, and I like his ability to. The dialogue of the characters is amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of my favorites growing up was Artemis and Treri, the assassin, I believe it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went from Lord of the Rings straight into R.A. Salvatore, which can be quite a jump if you look at just the difference in the writing styles, the worlds, how developed things are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I only read 2 or 3 books. I haven't been as involved. But.
Aaron, check your DMs. R.A. Salvatore got his start. I think he was a computer science major, and he had gotten snowed in at his parents' house. He was 18, I think, and while he was snowed in, he was reading Lord of the Rings, and that set him on his interest in fantasy and whatnot. So
isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Huh. Talking about different worlds, right? So I met a guy when I was in the Middle East. I met a guy who he knew about Tolkien, and he knew about the Lord of the Rings, but had never read any of them. And I had one of those. It's got all 4 books, The Hobbit, and then 1, 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a series of them. I read them, who knows, 6 or 7 times by that point, right? And he had no clue, but he could read and understand English quite well. So I gave them to him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I gave them to him, and I gave him my email.
You shared the J.R.R. Tolkien love.
Oh yeah, and he told me that he read them, and then he read them again, and then he gave them to somebody, and then they read them, and then they read them again, and it went around his little circle of friends.
Oh, that's I love to hear about that stuff. That's great.
Right. It's crazy how that works out, because I think we forget sometimes. We get to have these different cultures and subculture and whatnot, but not everybody gets that. And watching something as simple as J.R. Tolkien's universe, which is so small, right? I mean, I just can't help but wonder as I'm sitting here, what if those guys had R.A. Salvatore's books?
Mm-hmm.
They'd probably just, it's crazy.
That is
Awesome.
cool. That's very cool. All right, so Aaron just sent a photo of a plane wing. What the fuck? All right.
Is he back on Spirit Airlines again? We were
I
flying
don't.
Coop or
Aaron, are you
whatever.
coming on? Are you coming on the show, or do I have to just
Give him 5 seconds and then bring Chad on.
I was
Fuck it.
gonna say I'm looking for Chad's the DM and hang on. Let me. Where the hell is Chad? All right, let me go. I'm on and waiting. Where? Hang on. Let me see. Is he? Oh, there he is.
Good evening.
There he is.
What the hell's around your neck?
A scarf.
Oh, is it cold?
Cold in Minnesota, yeah. They got
Oh, okay.
snow over there.
Jeez.
And I know you like my airplane wing porn, so I sent you a picture of the latest wing that I landed in Denver
okay.
International. So I thought you'd
Okay.
like that. I keep trying to get pictures of stewardesses, but they're the Spirit Airlines stewardesses are very crafty, very shifty, and they dodge pictures. So
Really? Well, you have to stop one and say, "Look, the masculine
Get 'em
geeks
by
want a
the
photo."
nape of the neck.
The nape of the neck.
But I'm very short. And I got to jump up because actually the Spirit Airline gals they got sexy outfits. It's like black and sleek, and there's yellow accents. But the cool thing with the Spirit Airline girls is since Spirit Airline is like the bottom rung,
Yes,
it's
it
like
is.
nursing. Like the hot chicks all work the horrible shifts. So all the hot chicks start at Spirit when they're young and hot. And then when you get experienced and older and uglier and fatter, then you're at Delta because of the union.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
yeah.
That's
So
how that works.
I still
Got it.
think you guys would.
No. When you're sitting there, do the chicken coops underneath your seat? Does that peck at your ass? Do you get bit? I mean, at all?
Sometimes, but there's added fuel efficiency because the chicken poop can be used and converted into jet fuel.
Oh, so basically there's a
methane
funnel.
is-
There's a funnel underneath
Right.
the coop that goes directly to the. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Very green
That's why-
airline.
So that's why the airline can offer the cheap
Right.
flights.
The carbon footprint is very small as Spirit Airlines.
How do you handle the smell?
Dude, you want to know the honest truth? So I always fly out Vegas and back. And so when you fly back, the cheapest flight it's not just cheap because it's Spirit, but it's the cheapest flight for Spirit. Like $50 one way.
Jesus.
And then you start discovering the people. It's like riding Greyhound, really, is what it is. And when you get to the gate area where people are, you can actually smell, like it smells like a locker room. And it's all the fat people who are drunk and their pores are oozing out the booze and the alcohol and they're fat to begin with. And I literally will have to like walk around the airport a little bit and wait till the very last minute to like kind of hold my breath and run in when the line is very short. But yeah, it's there's some drawbacks to frugality and minimalism, but it's all worth it in the end.
Nice.
Boy, you sanitized that like fucking crazy. I love it.
Sanitize it. No, it's gross. They're
There's
like,
some drawbacks to frugality and minimalism.
Yeah, you've got to
There's
smell.
some fucking drawbacks to being a cheapskate.
You've got to smell. You have to smell sweaty fat people. Gee. Drew, yeah, you're rolling out now.
Put my
Good seeing-
son through his workout.
All right,
See you guys soon to coordinate for D&D.
we'll see you on Sunday. See you Sunday.
Drew.
Hey, guys.
All right.
Okay, peace.
that's Drew.
That is
Yeah, Drew
that's true.
Bay.
Holy
That's
shit,
our
he's
DM.
ripped.
Yeah,
they'll
he'll
fucking
fucking
kick-
break
they'll
you
put-
in half.
They'll put
Yeah.
a foot up your ass and you'll like it.
You break the rules, he'll kick
Hey
your
Vince,
ass. Holy
bring
God.
Chad on.
I'm gonna bring Chad on.
Chad, we're coming for you. You better bring your A game.
All right, let me go.
You guys let Etham on.
I
I
forget
see.
who that was in the comments I saw. I was like, yeah, don't bring Chad on, not that guy.
That was funny.
Fuck that guy.
Chad
Etham-
Elkins.
Etham, do you
There
have
you
like a light? Because it looks like the sun is shining into your window, but I know it's nighttime out there.
What are you talking about?
Well, you
I'm in Spain.
You're in Spain, really? You moved
No.
your entire office to
Spain.
Yeah, I couldn't leave that whiteboard at home either. You got to carry that all the way across the Atlantic. That's the.
Gotta work on my
Doc,
differential
happy
equation.
Thanksgiving.
All right,
Yeah, I'm just
here
gonna talk over everybody.
we- What else is new?
Right.
I thought TJ was gone.
At least I'm being brief.
Oh, Chad, check your Twitter DMs.
I'm like the old TJ, except I'm not depressed, and I've accept life for what it is. and the other
TJ 2.0.
No, this is like the prototype TJ. I'm old. I'm old tech.
There she is.
Chad. There she is. You got a
Is his
haircut.
mic,
Your mic isn't working, you son of a bitch.
or he's not talking, which would be okay too.
Say something.
Louder.
Yeah, you're very low. Turn up your.
It's.
There you go.
A little more.
A little more. Harder.
Push harder, Chad.
Yeah,
Push harder.
What's up, Safety Doc? What's up, Doc?
Ooh.
What's up, Doc?
There we go, Chad. Now
There.
Hey, and look, he's drinking too.
Gentlemen,
I think we had the same
Happy
pint glass.
Thanksgiving, Chad.
Anyone really going home for Thanksgiving, like seeing their folks?
I already am home. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I know, but I don't know if your folks live in Salt Lake City or not.
They do. They live like 5 minutes away.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna go see my dad tomorrow.
Safety Doc did the one about the schooling and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Correct. School Verus.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, I watched a couple of his about current education systems and such.
Really good. Yeah, you need to get the book. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Fucking Aaron's
Yeah.
got the book even.
Yeah, so my wife got her.
We can't hear you, Aaron, because you're muted, you fuck.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
I'm just trying to live up to it. Yeah, it's a well-written book. I didn't like it.
what's that?
I did
I didn't like
you
it.
even
I'm
read
just
it?
being honest because not everyone's gonna like everything. It's like split pea soup. This is the best tasting split pea soup. I just don't like split pea soup. But it was
Gotcha.
I was looking for more numbers and data.
Gotcha.
And he said that the producers or the editors said no, we don't put that in there. And which is probably best because who wants to read a statistician or an actuarial report? So do we lose everybody?
No, we're here. We just turned off our video.
Vince, what are you drinking?
Oh, this is not your father's root beer I had left over from a couple weeks ago. I figured I'd finish it tonight.
Well, cheers. Is it any good? I never had that.
It's very tasty. You do not taste the alcohol. It tastes like root beer, and you can get drunk very quickly.
Oh, that sounds good to me.
Perfectly right.
Oh, nice. I like it. There you go. Can't
Is
go
that
wrong with wild
potent?
turkey.
No, sir.
Is that potent? Of course it's potent.
Where is TJ? Where is the boy?
TJ is in a different location and had to go take care of some things. So he was on for about an hour and then had to run.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So how you doing, Aaron? You doing well?
Doing great. Got back from the trip, of which I visited Rob and TJ 2 days ago. Had to get back early because there was a snowstorm moving in, which hit us. And I was really looking forward to staying at the Franklin Hotel.
Oh, that's that special hotel you always talk about.
Yeah, it's real nice. I love the Franklin Hotel. It's one of the most beautiful interiors, woodworking, built in 1901. Just real nice and cheap too if it's off season. $22 a night. And then all of a sudden I looked at the weather. I'm like, crap. And I just wanted to sit by the fireplace and the leather couch and write. And that did not happen.
It never happened.
No, it did happen. I was there for a little bit, but
Really?
yeah, because I had to
You had a hard
gamble.
time finding some time here.
It's because I'm
Here in
driving
town.
all around visiting you yahoos because no one comes visits me. Poor lonely
I
kid.
visited you a year ago. I don't want
Yeah,
to
just-
hear that.
You know what that is, Aaron?
Right?
The world's
Rob's jerking
smallest
off?
violin.
No, the world's smallest violin. Rob's.
Oh, I thought it was
jerking
Rob
off.
jerking off. I got to sleep with Rob's two pussies.
Yes, you
when-
did.
Yeah,
So you got to see Rob jerking off.
I got
Yep,
to see Rob.
pretty
We
much.
broke
Okay.
out the magnifying glass. It was very exciting. He was like,
There
look,
you go.
see?
That's, friction.
There it is. Yeah,
Oh, fantastic. You got to write a book on that too.
that'd be very short.
All right, here, Safety Doc is shilling over here. There we go. Let's give him a shout. Go ahead, everyone. Please follow the Safety Doc. Go
Buy his book,
Buy his book. Check out his podcast. It's good stuff.
I'll follow him right now.
There you go.
especially if
Doc-
you have children. It's very germane if you have children.
It really is. And Doc is a good, solid dude.
Yes.
I ever tell you about his him and DT's fascination with the Minuteman nuclear national monument in South Dakota?
You have not? No.
It looks like a gas station, and it's not a national park, it's a national monument. And him and my other buddy DT are swearing by Mount Rushmore. Fuck it. Spearfish Canyon, to hell with it. Deadwood, screw it. The most exciting thing they thought was this national monument off the highway that is a historical thing about the Cold War and the nuclear weapons, because there's nuclear weapons out there, or there was. So they keep telling me, oh, you got to check it out. You got to check it. So I go there. All it is a cardboard cutout with some charts, and you walk through a little thing and some televisions, and they make it kind of look like the 1960s. Like they have some boob TVs. And that was what those guys thought was the most amazing thing ever. And so
cardboard cutout and some charts.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was like a museum
Fantastic.
display, but a really shitty museum display. No real, actually, like, oh, here's a piece of uranium from a decommissioned missile. Here's a piece of the missile. It's like, here's a picture of a missile. And this is a chart showing how many missiles we had. And so they thought that was the greatest thing ever in South Dakota. So I like to give him guff for him and DT thinking that
there's a word I don't nearly get enough of. Guff.
You know my favorite national monument?
What's that?
Colorado?
Lava beds.
What's that?
It's in California,
Mhm.
really close to Oregon. We drove past by it, remember?
Oh, yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah,
I was going to
yeah.
ask you, is that a national park or a monument, though?
It's a monument.
Really? See, now
Yeah.
that's way cooler than you get some of
Way
these
cooler,
lame,
yeah.
lame rink-a-dink parks. I think like there's some in Ohio, like Cayuga Falls, and that's a national park. But then you have lava beds, where the lava once flowed underground and you can hike under. That's just a monument. That doesn't make park status.
Yeah, it's like a national park with, 900 caves.
Yeah, that alone should make it a park, not a monument.
Yep. A lot of them are haven't been discovered yet.
Can you sign up for a tour and like go down there and check out and map it out?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? Wait, so you actually explored some unexplored stuff and now it's all mapped?
Yeah, well, I didn't map it, but I did explore it. I've been underground in that area. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it was tempting driving up there Crater Lake to like kind of like.
Man, I went.
If we had time, if we had time.
Yeah,
but I had to get to Salt Lake to bang Rob's pussies. So
right, yeah, no, I also
He
had
got a
time
case of
constraints.
pink eye out of it too.
God,
I can't hang here, Rob. My eyes are all bloodshot.
we're all bloodshot.
Wah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're.
I gotta go. Hey, I got some fucking some allergy meds for you, Aaron. Oh no, I'm gonna suck it up and let my eyes coat over. I'm good. I can't hang with you, Rob. I gotta go. Two fucking nights and the guy's gone.
Too much pussy hair.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If you shaved your pussies, Rob, that would have helped out. But
Well, I like them, full forest.
He likes the old 70s porn.
yeah, you are from the 70s. I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
Who were the main porn actresses in the 70s? Or were you not quite old enough?
I'm not quite old enough to remember them.
Yeah. The 80s one, though? Because you would predate the Jenna Jameson era. That was the big gal back when
Well, see, that's the one I remember is Jenna Jameson.
No, there was Wendy Whoppers, Lethal
Yes.
Weapons, John Holmes on the dude side.
Well, and Ron Jeremy, if you're going to go on the dude side.
Mm-hmm.
But he
Him
was in
and,
the 70s and early 80s, wasn't
Yes, he was.
he? Okay, but can any of us remember, like, the females that were popular in the 80s?
No.
There were so many
Other
of them.
than Jenna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Jenna
don't,
was
know, I don't know that other than that, any of them really stood out. And I wasn't really worried about their names, to be honest with you.
Well, there was Debbie who did Dallas, but I can't remember what her name was.
Yeah.
Was that even a real show?
Oh, yeah. It was a movie. Debbie Does Dallas.
Oh, I
I've heard.
remember that. It is. It's a real show.
Well, speaking of people who watch porn, where the hell is TJ? I kind of like, it's not the same if I can't pick on the kid.
Well, the kid had to go and do something else.
Yeah,
He
had family obligations.
Oh, okay. So he did go down to Seattle. He's not in Leavenworth anymore.
Correct.
Yes.
He's in occupied territory.
Oh, okay.
But
You guys
we
have
got to see his childhood room. You missed that. You're gonna have to watch the replay.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you guys have you visited? Has anyone else visited him in Leavenworth?
Mm-mm.
Not yet.
Just you.
I plan on making the circuit out there soon. All three of you fuckers.
You got to check it out. It's really cool. He's got it the background you see in when he does his podcasting, it is pretty much the rest of his house. It is really cool.
Yeah, he's giving us a tour. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat. He
Going
keeps it 32 degrees, because I don't know, but it's he's in there. But he's got a real neat joint. No women in it, but he's got.
Well, gotta have the virgin pad somewhere.
The Virgin Pad, is that that's the name of Aaron's next book,
The Virgin
Pad Economics.
No, that'd be the biography of TJ. That would be,
Okay.
no.
Wow.
Hey, dude, his pickings are slim up there. I kind of scoped around a little bit. I'm like, if I was a single guy, what would I do? I'm
That's
like,
what
nothing here.
And
Nothing here.
Yeah, he really, if that's his goal, he needs to get the hell out of there.
He had a gal that was that was expressing interest in him.
We talked about that off before the show. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But he came up with a billion reasons why not to go out with her. So I was like, okay, all right.
Well, he did invite her out on a hike, so
that's good.
Yeah, he took charge. He's learning. He's a young lad. We have to teach him.
How old is TJ?
12.
30 something.
12.
No, yeah, he's 33.
Isn't that old? I thought he just turned 30.
No, wait, 31. 31.
Yeah, 31. I don't think he's 33 yet.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid just hit puberty last year, so it's not.
Last
80.
year,
He's
6
80.
months ago.
He's 80 going on 32.
There you go.
Captain, did he have the tobacco tins on display? I paid $20 Yeah, he did have them, and then he told me the story, Doc, about how excited he was. And then he went to an antique place and saw the exact same tins that you gave him, and he said they're like $20 or $30 a piece. So you know, next time, Doc, send me that stuff, okay? Sell it and get some money for it. TJ is going to keep it because of a sentimental, like Dr. Perodin gave me these tin cans. I'm going to keep them. I'm like, hey, I can get $20 for these things and I can sell them and
there you go.
Make the money. But anyway, listen, I'm going to split because I got to get some food.
You haven't eaten yet?
I ate lunch around 2. And
Okay.
I was on a podcast with this asshole called Chad Elkins.
So now you admit I'm an asshole. You were calling me a nice guy a couple hours ago.
Well, you are a nice guy. You're too nice.
I'm not sure what's worse, asshole or a nice guy.
Nice guy's way
Nice
worse.
guys
That's probably worse. Yeah.
Nice guy's way
worse.
way
Yeah.
Being an asshole is a badge of honor.
Seriously, and we're all assholes here. That's for sure.
Look at TJ's the nicest out of all of us, and even Chad gets laid occasionally. So I mean, anyway, Sunday, right? We're going to do 0.
We're at 12 noon Eastern. I'll send the link a little beforehand. We're gonna do session 0 D&D to get our characters ready to go, and Drew's going to give out some information for us. So yes, be prepared for that.
And if we don't take the information, he'll kill us.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Where the hell did you find him? Like he's just like
He's been following us for a while, and then I had posted out on the Masculine Geek channel some of the live or the my round the table D&D games, and then we started talking in DM, and he's like, "Hey, if you ever want me to run a game for you guys, I'd be happy and honored to." I'm like, "No, now that you mention it, now that you mention, I had this idea I've been percolating around in my mind for a while. I want to get sort of like a celebrity D&D game going, and if it goes well, I want to make sure we continue doing it." So,
well, he actually, unlike us, he actually is a masculine geek. Then,
we're all masculine geeks.
He reps more than his own weight. That's
Good for
He
you.
does, yeah. Well, that's what he does for a living.
Oh, that's his profession.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, no wonder
he's a trainer, and he writes books on it, and that's what he does.
Oh, geez.
So he's Drew's a solid guy too. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, listen, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Everyone have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. Enjoy it. Don't touch
too,
yourself
Aaron.
too much.
See ya.
See ya.
Yep.
Is there such a thing?
Is there what? Is such a thing
there
as,
such a thing?
as not touching yourself too much? Well, according to as Rob would say, according to the dipshits on Twitter, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the dipshits on Twitter are just that.
Well, yes.
But still not November, right?
Yeah. Red Crusader. I used to have a campaign a couple years ago. It was a private one, and Aaron used to play. So Aaron's been playing D&D for a long time.
What's
Yes.
Tim Keefe been up to? He and I were exchanging some direct messages about classical music, and they actually got pretty interesting, like some of the stuff he was sending me.
Oh yeah, he is actually in town. I'm gonna be meeting up with him and a few other masculine geeks this Saturday, and I'm depending upon privacy issues, if the guys want, I may do a Periscope. We'll see.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna meet up for steak and a good drink, and then one of the guys knows the owner of a brewery, so he's reserved a table for us afterwards. So after we hit the restaurant and do some drinking there, we're gonna head over to the brewery for more awesome discussion, masculine geekness, and more drink. So yeah.
Sounds. I like the drink part.
Very nice.
Hell yeah.
Is that Hibiki? Did I just see Hibiki right there?
No, it's a Modelo.
Oh, Modelo.
Ooh, Modelo's good.
I was like, oh, very nice.
I mean, I'm Mexican, right? I have to drink that. Nice shirt, Chad.
Oh well, thank you. I came straight from work.
There you go. Yeah.
Looks like
Red, the game it's always awesome when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons around the table. It was a good game. That's been ongoing for almost 2 years now, that campaign.
I never played D&D.
I don't know anything about it. I wish I did.
Well, if you watch the game on December 11th, you'll know all about it.
I used to play Neverwinter Nights back in the day.
Oh, I love Neverwinter Nights. That was a good one. And Neverwinter Nights too. That was good too.
I never played that one. I played Neverwinter Nights, the first one, and the 2 expansions. That's it.
Okay, cool. Did you ever get into Icewind Dale?
No.
That one's good. They sell that on Steam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, check that one out. That's good. You can create a party of six characters and run them through the adventure.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So.
I play a lot of Total War on Steam. I tend to enjoy those quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, Total War. That's sort of the what did that start out at? That samurai game.
Yeah.
Crap, I can't think of the name now.
I can see the picture in my head.
Yeah, not Shogun. It's
No, it's Shogun.
Is it Shogun? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Total War Shogun. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right.
I think there were a couple before that, if my memory serves me correctly. Right now I have Rome 2.
Oh, nice.
But I'm a huge... So there are 2 areas of history, world history, as far as previous to, let's just say the 1700s. And that is the Romans, and then anything having to do with the Crusades and the Knights Templar. Because there's just something about that whole area that I find very fascinating. So...
I agree. Yeah, that's some good stuff. I'm sure you enjoy it.
It's very rich stuff. And there's a whole lot that happened during that time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even looking at Red Crusader's name here, right? In my brain's kind of like, why did you pick that? Like, is it this? Is it,
Mm-hmm. Red Crusader, how did you get your name?
I always had a crush on Ariveth.
Oh yeah.
You know who she is, right? Yeah, you play Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah. Oh, the main chick that you have to do the missions for. Yeah.
Right. The paladin. Yeah.
Yep.
Paladin, yeah. I love her accent.
All right. That's good stuff.
It's amazing what the accent does. Like, any woman can be she can be average, right? She can just be a 5 on a scale of 10, and then all of a sudden you throw an accent in there, and the world changes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness.
But then if you're hot like Ariveth, then it's even better.
Well, yeah, it's a whole other thing. Yeah. There's a chick when I was in Africa. I met a chick, and she was French. She was French military. She worked communications.
Oh, nice.
Her name was Gladys.
Mm.
But Gladys took very good care of herself. Spoke French, right? And she would have conversations, and I would watch guys just drool over themselves, right?
Their brains just slide right out their ass.
Oh no, it was incredible. Yeah. So we they put us through a jungle warfare school in the African jungle, and it was led by the French. And we finish it. We thought we were finished one morning. We all laid down to take a nap at about 7 o'clock in the morning because we had been up for about 30 hours at that point.
Oof.
And I wasn't asleep. All my guys were. She comes over and she goes, "Do you want to see something funny?" She's wearing these little jungle colored booty shorts with this little tank top. And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah, whatever you want. I got you." And she smiles and she just kind of goes walking off, and she looks over her shoulder and smiles at me, you know. And she takes a little squat right in front of one of my guys. She pulls out it's a grenade, but it's a baby powder grenade. So it'll still pop and baby powder will go everywhere, but it won't hurt anybody. And she pulls it, and then she has the ring and she's twirling around her finger like this. And she goes, "Good morning." And I watched one of my guys wake up with the biggest smile on his face. And he realizes what's in her hand, and his eyes get about yay big. Like out of a cartoon. He goes, "Fuck! Grenade!" Right? And everybody goes running all over the place, and she drops the grenade and kind of comes trotting off, just giggling, right? And it's the sexiest thing in the entire world. Right? And then that kicked off a whole nother series of events that we were not ready for.
Oh, I'm sure.
But none of us not a single one of us have forgotten that moment.
The French lady.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. With the grenade.
With the grenade.
And the booty shorts.
There's a movie character for you.
Oh shit.
No, yeah, you're not.
Damn. Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, gentlemen, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, and I have a long, interesting day tomorrow, so I need to get to sleep.
Same.
So we're going to sign off for now, but I want to say it's been a blast. Everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel that's come in and out.
Yep.
Getting to see Luke again live and talk to him.
Finally,
after months and months of planning.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll obviously have you back on again.
Please do.
Okay. And we'll keep us posted with the birth of your son.
yes.
Please. Yeah. And have you and your son on.
And
That'd
while
be
we're
kinda
not fathers, we'll still give you
Let's
advice.
do it.
Yeah. Yep. And we're not dads, but shout out to Bull Rush, you magnificent bastard. You. We love you.
Yes.
Atham, once again, a pleasure to have you on as well, and always good to see you. And you as well, Chad. You're a newcomer to Masculine Geek.
Well, it's good seeing you guys always.
And good seeing you again. And we'll have everyone
We
on.
still
again.
need to have Chad on before Aaron next time.
We'll do that.
Guy.
We will do that next time. That was a little poor planning on my part, but I will go ahead and we'll get Aaron's ire up. We'll get him all locked in.
You guys need to have Chad, not Aaron.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like sorry, Aaron. You have to wait.
Get in line, Aaron.
Exactly. We're gonna give him a ticket.
That's right.
All right. Safety Doc wants you to get on Twitter and follow. Okay.
Yeah, follow the same.
I followed you,
No!
Safety Doc.
Good to see you, Bull. And Bull Rush, you are next, my brother. You're coming
Dude,
on.
you're
here
so
next.
coming on the Geek show.
You're coming on Masculine Geek Show
You've
next.
been with me and Jack. Now you get to be with me and the Geeks.
There you go.
What's happening?
Yep. So I'll keep you posted on that. So everyone, if you're not on the Patreon, you can get over there and get our Saturday morning cartoon hours privately and straight to your inbox. You get to member the Facebook private group there where there's some interesting discussions happening. And yes, so if you don't do that, you're going to have to wait until next Wednesday. So until then, everyone, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
To you and your families, everyone, and we'll talk to you and see you soon.
Yeah, see you.
Good night.